What's up, Star Trek fans? Have you guys missed me? Probably not. I don't know. I was only I launched this channel towards the beginning of Star Trek Picard season 3, and here we are. It's been a while. I miss doing these. I miss the hype of season 3 of Picard. I don't know if we'll ever have that sort of fun again. But Strange New Worlds has released their new trailer, and before I start the trailer, let's just catch up really quickly. If you guys remember, I think I gave a thumbs up to about 4 episodes of Strange New Worlds last season. I thought they were thumbs up, and I thought there were 6 or so other episodes that were just like, whatever. I thought they did some things great. I thought they did some things bad. But overall, I gave Strange New Worlds a 6 out of 10, something that is passable enough for me to watch it as Star Trek. I'm not like super, super excited, but I'm sort of enjoying it. But I also am concerned about many things as well. This doesn't really seem like Spock all the time, and it's really bad sometimes that it doesn't. And he certainly didn't seem like Spock in Discovery, which was whatever. But so here we are. The reason why Strange New Worlds has worked fairly well, though, is because I believe it's connected a lot of the group of Star Trek fans that seem to just like everything, and they love the progressive message and the wokeness and all that sort of stuff. But it also has a lot of traditional Star Trek fans, or maybe fans that favor the original series or the Next Generation. A lot of those people enjoy it too. So what it's done for the first time in a while since Picard season 3 has brought together the audience. Most of it. I know there's still a lot of people that don't like Strange New Worlds, and it's still not quite, adhering to Star Trek of old enough for many people. But they did capture a lot of people that did not like Discovery whatsoever. So you have just about everybody that enjoyed Discovery is enjoying Strange New Worlds. And a lot of people who did not watch Discovery and didn't like Discovery, I would say about half of them are enjoying Strange New Worlds, which is already a win because you have your Discovery audience, and now you have your sort of classic Trek or traditional Trek fans also involved. You still don't have everybody. And that's why I think it's very reflective in me giving it a 6 out of 10. For me, I'm going to continue watching it and see what happens. Now, first, Season 2 was already filmed right after Season 1, so you're not going to get anything insanely new, in my opinion here, really. You're just going to kind of get more of the same, because there isn't enough time to see what the fans' reaction is and to make some slight course corrections as you see fit. I am concerned, and listen, all you people out there, whatever you feel and believe is fine. I do think everybody can enjoy whatever Star Trek they want to enjoy. That's fine. If you want to get angry at certain Star Trek, that's fine too. But I am worried myself. I am concerned, that this could take a turn for the woke or whatever, or the wrong. And I think a lot of people on the left and the right and a lot of Star Trek fans and different Star Trek fans, they all fight over this stuff. We're so much closer to each other than people believe. I wish that Star Trek fans wouldn't fight with each other, because you have to realize that if you're a Star Trek fan, you're probably really close on many ideas to each other. And it sucks to see so many Star Trek fans fighting. But let's get to the actual trailer now, and let's actually talk about what I think about it. All right, here we go. That shuttle is jacked up, bro.
You gonna start the engine sometime soon, Erica?
Don't worry. I did this 100 times during the war.
I feel like sometimes Erica is like a cartoon character, like, because she was like so maniacal about like doing crazy things. This reminds me kind of a cartoon. That's the first thing I can say is this part of the trailer, this is almost like a cartoon. Like the Erica character, the captain and everything. And I also wish she didn't call her Erica, because I don't know why the captain, but I don't know. It's weird, but I don't have a problem. You know, I mean, like Kirk called McCoy, and Bones. He called Spock, Spock. Some people have had problems with the first name basis, but again, you know, sometimes Kirk would say Lieutenant, you know, this, or hey, Commander this, or Lieutenant that, or whatever. But then he would also say, you know, Bones or Spock or Sulu, do this. So Kirk would call people by their first names and different names all the time. So I don't think that's really is a problem.
It's like riding a bike.
I sense a tension, a feeling that something's in the air.
Oh my God.
Our job puts us up against death. And we might not like it.
So I don't know what's going on with Kirk here and La'an or whatever. It is weird that La'an, you know, is going to meet Kirk when later on Kirk is going to meet Khan. You would think one of the first things he would say is Khan. And he would like immediately connect this time with Khan later on, but that doesn't happen. So this doesn't really make sense to me. Unless there's some sort of time travel involved here. I don't know. I still don't know. I still don't really love that Kirk is in this show. You know, and I still don't know how I feel about this actor playing Kirk. He's, again, you know, I'm getting this vibe from Strange New Worlds now where it almost feels like a cartoon. Like we're watching a live action cartoony Star Trek, if that makes any sense. Like, I don't know.
But we do have to face it.
The Mongolians? Is that where they're going?
Hold on to your saddles.
Is they going to fight Genghis Khan?
We are explorers. It's easy to forget how awesome that is.
That's the mission. It's
All the trailers of Star Trek now, we're awesome. Like, it's awesome. Like,
we love most.
I have this crazy theory.
I love a crazy theory.
What does this mean?
I don't know.
when I was a kid, I loved her. What's her name? I can't even remember her name now. Carol something, whatever her name is. I loved her in Scrooge. When she was in Scrooge and she was beating the shit out of Bill Murray, I loved her, Carol Kane. But I don't love her right now because she's like Pulaski to me. Because I'm like, no, I want Hemmer back. Why do we have to lose Hemmer? By the way, there's like not a lot of guys on this show. Does anybody notice that? It's not a lot of men. And Hemmer, I guess technically is a male alien, you know. But now now another woman's coming on. Like we're the men are just going away. What's going on?
Shut up.
Why do we see Spock kissing her? Like that could have been a big moment in. I mean, I guess they've already kissed in a way, but I mean, like that could have been a big thing in the season. Why'd they give that away? And I hate this. Whatever that is from Spock right there, he better be on drugs. You know what I mean? I don't like that. That is not Spock. It never has been. And I don't know, bro. Like that, this is cringe to me. I don't know why I don't know why modern Star Trek is trying to make Spock some sex symbol and like emotional. I don't understand it. In J.J. Abrams' movies, it's like Spock is angry, enraged. He's like has to be sexual with Uhura. It's just like, this is not Spock. I don't understand what this is. And even in Discovery, he's like, I like violence, basically. It's like, what is going on? So maybe it's explained in the season. I hope he's on drugs.
Do you know the odds of all of us being here at this
It could be explained, too, that, like, well, we'll talk about it after.
time? It's improbable, and yet here we are, together.
Surprise!
Good trailer. There's a little bit more, I guess.
Live long and prosper, Mr. Boimler.
You also live and
So he's like a big, they're from the future. So for the people that don't, so the Lower Decks people are from the future. They're from like after Picard season 3 time, right? Or are they from like, I forget where they're from. They might be from before that, right? When are they from? I don't remember when Lower Decks is from. Lower Decks might be from like just after Nemesis, but before Picard season 3. I don't know. I should have looked it up, but whatever. So they're from the future, so they would idolize Spock and all these people, right? So that's why he's like, oh my God, Spock. I don't know how that works with them being cartoons from a different timeline. I don't know if they're gonna play it in this. Like, why are we not cartoons anymore, or if they're just going to play it like, oh, we're not in our time right now. So they're not going to act as cartoony, you know what I mean? But I'm assuming they are going to act fairly cartoony, but more like the Orville, comedy. But if they do that, like the Guardians of the Galaxy and the Orville type of style, that will work instead of being full-on cartoon, because we're not in a cartoon right now. They're in this universe. Then, I mean, that's kind of interesting, and we'll see what happens with that. But I just think that, I get such a cartoony vibe from this show. It's like sexy Captain Pike's hair and all the amazing women that help him do his job much better. You know what I mean? Like, and it's also like Scooby-Doo or something. Like, I've got a Scooby-Doo vibe, and I'm not talking about the woke Velma show or whatever that is. I'm talking about the classic Scooby-Doo. Like, it's just got like an old cartoon. I don't know. I'm picking up some vibe of that. I know I keep mentioning this, and people are like, "Okay, dude, we get it," but I just can't say it. But anyway, it looks all right. Looks good. Looks like more of the same from season 1. And again, if it can be as good as season 1, then I'll probably give it another 6 out of 10, and I'll probably go back and watch certain episodes. I really did love the first episode of Strange New Worlds. I thought that episode was really pretty good. And that had a bit of a cartoon aspect. There were downs and ups from that season. Big time. People like to do the ups and downs videos in Star Trek and video games and all content and all media and all movies. There's all kinds of channels everywhere that do the ups and downs. Man, I think you'd have a field day with Star Trek Strange New Worlds, because I feel like there's so many up and down things. Whereas if I did a Discovery, it would just be almost all downs. And if I did, Picard, it was mostly ups. And certainly if I did Classic Trek, it would be a lot of ups. But, Star Trek Strange New Worlds has a lot of I'm jerked all over the place. I don't know what to think. There's another video out where they're doing the sort of the tribunal. It's like a clip, and they're
This
doing
court is now in session. Joining me as judges in this tribunal are Space Command Representative Zust Tlago.
So it's just like a tribunal, and they're watching the proceedings, I guess. So on the Enterprise, they're not actually there. I love this, the classic one of the classic screens, but like done up futuristic. That's the best thing when you take a classic item and you keep it traditional to what it was with some sort of function, but you spruce it up into what it could have looked like and what it really would have looked like if they had had the technology back then, while honoring still the original design. I mean, that's stuff that makes you very happy. So tribunal's going on. We know she's going to get out of it somehow, because they've already shown her in the season in other situations. I love that they're wearing the classic, sort of these classic badges and this classic look with a little bit of a different vibe to it, but very cool. Very well done. We're going to get a courtroom episode. So that's stuff that people have loved for so long in Star Trek, that started with TOS, the original series, and also carried on into the Next Generation, and was dabbled on with some of the other Star Treks as well. But it's nice to see we're getting that sort of courtroom situation in that return. We'll see how they handle it and what happens, but overall, I'm happy that we'll have some new Star Trek to watch week to week. Certainly, 10 episodes a season, it's not a real Star Trek season. Star Trek seasons used to be 20-something episodes, and that's with all TV too. So, but it just feels weird. It feels like this is really the second half of the first season, but it is the second season, and now we know the third season may be delayed as well. So there's a whole lot more I could get to, but I want to keep this video fairly short. I could talk so much more about so much more. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to let you guys comment down below. I'm going to see what people say about this and what people continue to say. And then I will do another video following up on it, talking about your comments and what the feedback has been after I read some other people's feedback about this. And that's really it. I'm just kind of thinking out loud here about it. And are you going to watch it? That's what I'm wondering. Are people going to watch this? I know my wife was on the fence about this show. She watched about 4 episodes or so with me, and then she sort of just kind of stopped watching. But she didn't hate it like Discovery. She didn't have like visceral hate for it. She just kind of was uninterested. But she doesn't really like the original series either that much. It's not that it's bad. She just isn't that interested in it, and I feel like she's not that interested in this either. And this has a little bit of the original series vibe with a new flair. And if you don't really like the new flair and you didn't really like the original series, then I guess I could see how you wouldn't really like it. But I think that people like me who do like the original series and, who are younger original series fans, you know what I mean? I love the movies, the original series movies better than the original series. But the original series OGs, some of the older original series fans, those are the people that seemingly aren't really being able to get into this as much, I think, because it's just so shockingly strange for them to see like what they know so well be not quite right. It's very jarring. The further removed you are from the original series, the easier this is to accept, I would assume. Like if you're a fan who's 35 years old or younger, you can probably like not really worry about some of the weird things that aren't quite right at all, and it's not even bothering you really, even though you're like, oh, that's a little different, but whatever. But an OG fan is like, it's bothering them much more than it would bother you. So I empathize with that for the people that feel that way. I think I'm accepting it enough. I'm giving this a 6. I gave the first season a 6 out of 10. I mean, there were like 3 episodes that I really don't want to watch again. I mean, I could put them on and suffer through it, but I really don't want to watch them again. I compare it to Code of Honor. Code of Honor and Justice from Star Trek The Next Generation. The episode where Wesley falls in the flower bed and they're going to kill him because he fell in the sacred flowers or whatever it was. And the episode where Tasha Yar has to fight for the vaccine on that weird planet. It has nothing to do with the racist undertones that I don't even understand. It doesn't. It's just, I don't even think it was racist undertones. People are just reaching for anything to cry about. The episode was just not good. It was not very good. And I didn't like Justice really either. Like after I saw Justice once, I didn't really ever want to see it again. It was an interesting concept, but I just didn't really like. I don't know. I don't like that episode that much. I do watch it here or there once in a while, but those are 2 episodes. There's only like 5 or so episodes of TNG that I'm like, never. I've skipped that every time. There's only like 5 that I do that with. But I would say that on Strange New Worlds, there's already a couple that I do that with. And one of them is definitely that Aliens episode where Hemmer dies. Number one, Hemmer dying sucks. But also, just the whole episode is just an Aliens ripoff. It's just... And we're seeing the Gorn that I don't think we should be seeing the Gorn yet. So seeing the Gorn, it being an alien ripoff, and then in the end Hemmer dies, I never want to watch that episode again. The episode Skin of Evil in TNG where Tasha Yar dies, I like that episode. And it also has a very emotional ending with the goodbye to Tasha. And this just doesn't have any of that. So there's like a few episodes I'll 2 or 3 I'll never watch really. I'd never really want to watch again. But I think that there are 4 episodes of Strange New Worlds that I often put on. I put them on every once in a while and I watch it again. And I think the last episode with Kirk, they tried their best, but it's weird how they recreated that episode of Balance of Terror. I like it, and yet there is some stuff that is egregious. So it's like that falls into one of the episodes I do give a thumbs up to, but there are some egregious things in it that are just like, ugh, what are you doing? And so I think for some fans that episode was trash because they couldn't stand like how wrong they had things and how goofy certain things were and how it just wasn't really Star Trek the right way. So it's interesting, right? And I don't think there's 100% wrong or right answer. I think a lot of this stuff is gray area, and depending on how old you are, how much Star Trek you watch, which Star Trek you really love, and what it means to you, that's why there's such a argument among people about what's good, real, not, whatever. And I think that you have to give a little, I think most of us have to give a little leeway to some Star Trek that might be different or stretched or weird. You got to give a little leeway because there's such a different meaning and different vibes of Trek all over the place. But there are some new episodes and some other episodes and old episodes that no matter what, most people agree that wasn't done very good. And those are the ones that I think you can agree more on that aren't good or aren't Star Trek, right? Because most people agree that, yeah, that wasn't good. But I think a lot of stuff nowadays, certain pockets like it and don't like it, and so it becomes very convoluted. And apparently we're just going to keep getting more like that because the more you branch off and make Star Trek a little more different or a little more different, a little more different, the more then people take liberties and it stretches until it was this narrow thing of like, here's what Star Trek is. Sometimes it varies a little bit, but here's this narrow band of what Star Trek is. But now, as it gets played with, especially starting with Deep Space Nine, but even in the Next Generation, it was 70 years in the future, and things got more rigid, and certain ways changed a little bit compared to the original series. But still, Star Trek had this narrow band, and it was kind of getting more narrow. And then just when Deep Space Nine came along, it started creating little pockets of what else it could be. And now we're in this like multiverse of pockets, and it's starting to get convoluted and sort of becoming like that Bible that of what Star Trek is, and that fine line of what it was is really loose and vague right now, and people are running amok and running wild with Trek all over the place, putting their pieces into it, and it's just going to keep expanding into like, eventually what will happen is it probably won't be, might not be special anymore, and that's what I think people are worried about. It's not going to be special when, you can just do anything and it doesn't matter, and all canon is basically wrecked. And so that's the problem. Anyway, what do you guys think about everything I said? Leave it in the comments down below, and I'll see you next time. This is Star Trek Late Night, and I went on a 22-minute rant. We'll see you later.